Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Cardboard Coach Neil. I woke up this morning and I wanted to make a video about one card. It's my favorite pickup of the year, and a companion piece for it arrived yesterday, which you're going to see both. But then that excitement turned to like, wow, look at all this SGC news that's coming out about Peter Steinberg, I think is his name. He used to post a lot on Facebook. I know that. But, I guess he's gone and people are freaking out. I mean, come on. This is the president of SGC, a company that collectors just acquired. The president is one of the first people to go. There's a reason he's been radio silent, because his contract was null and void. They're probably paying him whenever that contract is up, but I mean, that's the reason. There's no reason to panic here. For anyone who thought that Peter Steinberg was going to miraculously appear, come on. I mean, come on. I'm not even a business guy, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn last night. In any event, I'm going to leave some commentary until after, because my favorite pickup of the year, I have it in hand. It's a really cool card. It happens to be SGC, and I am a little disappointed in the grade. So, there is something there with all this news. Okay, I'm going to show you the card. I'm going to try my very best to save commentary until after, so guys can just kind of fast forward. I'm going to tell the story while you're looking at the card of how I came across this thing. But this thing I'm talking about is a 1952 Shelby Bicycles Yogi Berra. The same image used on his 1950 Bowman and also 1950 Drakes. Ride Shelby, the winner's bike. Sincerely, Yogi Berra. And this was a premium that SGC has labeled 1952. PSA does the same thing. Between this example and PSA, there are 7 between both companies. The highest graded one, I believe, is a 2.5, which was graded, I want to say 7-8 years ago. There is some VCP data on some recent sales. Not a lot have sold. So this one, it came up, like I was saying, in the fall, October, November of last year, with a buy it now and a best offer. I was blown away by this thing. I like this kind of stuff. And I did some Google research on the card. I found information pretty easily. Went to VCP, found some sales. There was nothing on eBay, so I saved it. Probably December-ish, late November. One did come up on eBay, and I reached out to the seller, got some other pictures. It was ungraded. Couldn't really work out a deal with what I was comfortable spending on a raw card, and I kept it on my watch list. So, months go by, and I think I bought this thing in May. I reached out to him. It was still available. He kept on lowering the buy it now, keeping the best offer option open. And I just replied to all the other messages and said, hey, listen, what's the best you can do? And we worked out a number, and we made a deal, and it was shipped to me. Now, I knew it was going to go to PSA for authenticate or eBay authentication, which it did. It was miscategorized, which I knew it would happen. And it finally did arrive. The condition was exactly how the seller explained it. It was exactly the same in his pictures. I was very, very happy with the card. So I added it to a small submission that I was already in process of sending to SGC. And I'm glad I did. I love the tuxedo. I think it looks great. This is a 5x7 type card. I think it's framed beautifully. I'm not a numbers guy, but I'm a little disappointed with the one.
And now that you have seen the card, I'm going to show you some of the advertising that I got yesterday. This is a 1954 Shelby Bicycles ad, still featuring Yogi Berra, but as you can see up here, these are 1954 Tommy and Sally license plates. So, and Shelby Bicycle is still the bicycle, but it's now an AMF company. So the Shelby Bicycle Company produced bicycles up through 1953. Then they were purchased by AMF. And I remember seeing a 1955 Shelby ad. Yogi Berra was not the spokesperson on that. So I don't know how long. I could not find any information about Yogi Berra being a spokesperson for Shelby Bicycles, how long it lasted. He's one of at least 3 players that I know of in the early 50s that sponsored bicycles. The other 2 being Bob Feller and Willie Mays, Mays and maybe Feller as well, but I know Willie Mays was a big roll fast bicycle spokesperson. And there are some great photos of Willie Mays out there. There aren't any premiums, but there are some nice Willie Mays stuff out there. This is a great card. I'm very, very pleased with it. Happy to have it in my collection. I really appreciate you guys watching this. And now I'm going to talk about SGC.
Okay, so yeah, SGC, we know that they've been bought by collectors. They are now, whatever. They're here for now. That's at least what Collectors is saying. And I still believe that. I really do, and I hope that still is the case. Now, when all this speculation started with PSA moving to Florida, I get it. I don't understand the speculation today. For anyone thinks that, Peter Steinberg, he was the president of SGC, a company that Collectors just acquired. And I could be wrong, but aren't presidents like the first people to go? I'm sure he was like under a contract or something, and that contract probably expired, or they're just buying him out right before the National. Peter Steinberg, I've never met him. And I think his name's Peter Steinberg. That's what I'm going with. Peter Steinberg. I remember he made a lot of Facebook posts on Facebook and, nice little videos, did a tremendous job of building up that SGC brand over the years. I don't know if he was responsible for the tuxedo. If he was, kudos, because I think it's the best holder in the business. And I think they were, or hopefully still are, the best grader in the business. I'm going to get to that in a second. But look, Peter Steinberg, presidents go. They're one of the first people to go. So I don't think anyone should be surprised or shocked that he's gone. I just thought that happened, whatever. Even the interview today, they say he's been playing golf. Well, yeah, he's getting paid. Most likely, was probably just getting paid and just going out and, letting his contract run up. That's just my guess. What do I know? I'm just a guy who stayed at a Holiday Inn last night, so who knows? But enough about that. The grading, now this was only a 1 card out of a 2-card submission. The other one I showed was that Joe DiMaggio Wheaties. It was a 2-card sub to SGC. I fully expected that to be authentic, which it was. I did not expect a number grade on this one. This Yogi Berra, however, I expected a 2, and it is rare. And I'm not, patting my own back or anything like that, but I can grade pretty good, like a lot of you guys out there can as well. And this one, I'm familiar with this type of stuff. And this one is kind of, I don't want to say disappointing, but it kind of is. And I'm going to reach out to SGC and see if I can have a review with just some of the things I know about these type of issues. Again, photos can bend, but it shouldn't knock it down to a 1. To me, this was a 2, maybe even a 2.5. And I don't think with what I know about this issue and having it raw in my hand before submitting it, it would not look out of place in a 3. I mean, I think my thing right now is that a couple people have mentioned through texts, through phone calls, one guy locally at my small card show, that they kind of thought that PSA was going to be incorporating their grading culture into SGC and that whole thing. And I don't like it. I don't like PSA. I like the cards if they're graded. I don't like submitting the PSA. I think PSA doesn't know how to grade as of late. It's either they don't know how, or they got rid of all the guys that knew how to do it, or the third one is they just changed the game to get more money. I just don't like the way the whole thing is. I like the look of the slab, the lighthouse holder, this and that. There's a lot of PSA product out there, so if I am going to buy something that's kind of big, if I do have that notion or that desire to buy a bigger type card, I am going to buy it slabbed. It's just safer that way. That's a whole other thing. I have a lot of raw material in my collection, but it's inexpensive, stuff that will never get graded. But just the more unique type items, I do prefer that they are slabbed. That's just me. So I am still, believe it or not, about halfway through a submission that I still plan on sending to SGC. I'm going to see how it all shakes out. But that's just my commentary about the SGC thing. Is a lot of Chicken Little type stuff going on today. And I don't think it should be. I think everyone should recognize that he's gone because he was the president. You know, it's not because they're doing anything else. His contract's up. But again, what do I know? So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you're still here, and for anyone going to the National, have a blast. You know, meet up with people. You know, shake hands and break bread with people that you haven't seen in a while, or people that you wanted to meet and are meeting for the first time. That's what it's all about. If anything comes up, be prepared, because that card, just like that Yogi Berra, I didn't know anything about, one of those might pop up to you. So be prepared and, be patient and enjoy. And until next time, we'll talk.